Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Russell Griffith Chandler, and yeah, this is my channel, and I'm playing Caribbean music because there's no copyright um there's no copyright issues with this music. A lot of other music has copyright issues, and I'm Caribbean, so yeah. Um, so I would like to be talking about transgender privilege. And yes, there is some kind of thing that has to do with transgender privilege. Um, it's the fact that um, it's the thing that as people time goes by, you're gonna have more of this transgender privilege kind of thing. Um, it's like it's this passing thing. Like transgender people who pass are already seeming to be having more respect and more and less violence, less life-threatening situations because they pass more. And as the social media develops within the transgender civil rights, there is going to be more trans people that they're going to find it easier to employ and to accept transgender people who are passing, because that's more, they're closer to heteronormativity. So when they pass and they're more trans when they're more fitting into the binary, they're gonna have more respect. And there is some kind of way where people have this thing where people who are transgender people who fit the more in the binary get more respect, and they're more comfortable around these people. Um, there is this thing where, say, someone who is ugly. I say this with phrases because there's no such thing as really an ugly person, but someone who doesn't fit into the societal norms, expectations of beauty, who is a trans woman. A lot of people get offended. A lot of people are like, "Ew, you're ugly. Like, what are you doing?" But if you had a not so not so pretty, um, a woman who is cis, who was born a woman and is now a woman, still a woman, still a woman, but they're seen as someone to have more compassion with. You have to be more compassionate. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But when a trans woman is struggling to pass, and when she's trying to just be herself, and she's not passing very well, and she's not looking like the conventional beauty standard, people are like, "Ew, you're ugly. I don't want to be around you. Like, you're weird. Like, why are you doing this? This is offensive. You're not a woman." You know, and it's these different double standards, and I don't like double standards. A lot of people don't like double standards, and it's wrong. That's why I say that there's a transgender privilege. Um, so as time goes on, you're going to see more. You're going to see more acceptance for trans people, and once you have more acceptance for trans people, you're going to have more space for different types of trans people to exist in this um, type of um, type of society. And you're gonna have make way for other trans people. There're gonna be more trans people coming into the social media, and you're gonna run into more conservative trans women, mostly trans women, but also trans men. You're going to run into these people. You're going to run into people like Blair White. You're gonna run into people like Caitlyn Jenner. Um, all of a sudden, like, they have this thing where all of a sudden they're the acceptable trans person. They're the normal trans person. Please, they have this idea of, please, please accept me, love me. I'm the good trans woman. Can't you see I'm better? Like, can't you just love me? And it's really problematic because being more conservative and trying to fit into a mold is not going to make people love you more. And what the issue with them is, we're having this conservative idea within trans women that they think that people who are gender fluid, non-binary, and all these other kind of genders are faking, but they don't realize that there's a thing that I call non-binary privilege. Not that non-binary dysphoria, non-binary dysphoria, because a lot of these type of people think they don't have dysphoria, but in actuality, if they were to try to act like a man, and if they were to try to fit into the binary, they would have dysphoria. They would feel terrible. And that's why I call it the non-binary dysphoria, because there's people, and these type of people, they just don't fit into the norm. They don't want to. I don't want to have this long hair every day. I don't want to have my makeup on every day. Sometimes I feel like a man, and sometimes I feel like a woman. I still have dysphoria, and I want to have boobs. You know, sometimes I want to have, a woman body, but sometimes I feel like a man, so I can't transition. But I have non-binary dysphoria. That's what I call non-binary dysphoria. And it's sad that people think that you can just wipe off your transgenderness. Because a lot of people, and it's sad that people think that non-binary is fake. But a lot of people think transgender is fake no matter what you tell them. So why even go into this kind of argument when people treat you the same way? They think of you the same way you think of us. So, as time goes on, you're going to see more trans women who are accepted, but they like them only because they fit more into the binary. And a lot of industries, a lot of entertainment industries and modeling agencies and stuff, they don't know what to do with gender fluid people, because they know that usually people fitting into the binary is more marketable, and you're gonna have this thing where a lot of modeling agencies, they're gonna reject them. They're gonna not have them access to these institutions where they can thrive. So yeah, it's like, people have this idea. A lot of people have this idea that if you're not fitting into the binary, you're not pretty, and that's not true. You can be androgynous and be very pretty. You can be, very non-binary looking, and you can be very pretty. So this is what I was talking about with the non-binary privilege. It's this thing where, like, you can't. It's a thing where, there's this acceptable trans woman. Please accept me. I'm not like them, kind of thing where, a lot of non-binary are going to be excluded, and a lot of trans women are going to be conservative like that. That's what's happening and what's continuing to happen. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue that, it's over for us. But I think it's a thing that's happening, and it always has. So, yeah. Peace, y'all.